Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
I'm Cole.
We slum it hard so you don't have to. Guys, right up top at the beginning, I do want to mention one thing. We're sponsored by
Aaron?
Sinasoid. And one of the dudes that works at Sinasoid, Albert, is from Panama City, Florida. And they just announced that they have released the new Giving Cable, the new in their series, and it's the Panama City Giving Cable. And all the proceeds from that go to help people in Panama City and the surrounding areas. So check that out. Go on down and buy one. And they look cool, too. They're like white with red and black Neutrik connectors.
How come they weren't turquoise and orange?
It's the colors of the Florida flag, I think.
Oh. I was thinking...
I bet Albert was like fighting to get the Dolphins colors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
think
know
he
anything about
designed
sports,
it,
but
Yeah. No, it's...
if he designed it,
because
then he was probably like, I can't
not
do
only
that.
like when they say
Giving
all the
cable.
proceeds, they mean like even the time.
Yeah, everything
they're
except
only
for shipping
just
and
parts.
materials. Yeah.
It's like even the time they're donating from everything that's
It's
bought,
not just profit, but
yeah, exactly. So it's really
overhead.
cool. And Albert is like he grew up, he's spent his whole life there, and so it's been a rough go for him. I think it's especially hard because now he's in Oklahoma.
he's
isn't
not
he?
there. Yeah.
So I
No,
think
he's
it's
in
like
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Oklahoma, same thing.
It's all the same. It's not
He
California.
lives in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Nebraska.
Miliwake, which means
So
the motherland.
So tell us about Calvinism, you guys.
All I know is
Brother
they
Cole,
really
I'm glad you
They
asked.
really like flowers.
So here's what I'm
They
going to
do.
say.
They like
Like-
2 lips. Wait.
2 lips, 1 ship. So I'm mostly just jealous that my religion isn't cool enough to have like pedal companies specifically marketing it my specific religion.
You're just going right for it.
Because there's not, I guess because you don't play guitar in church, but it's not like anyone's making a Mormon pedal,
Okay,
that would be cool though.
Church of Jesus
before
Christ.
this
I would
episode
buy
is
that.
done,
What's
before
that?
this episode is done, Cole, you have to, because Aaron and I can't do it. It's got to be you. If there's a Calvinism pedal
hate
brand,
speech if you guys do it.
yeah, I don't want to I don't want to cross a line.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that Dave Chappelle thing where it's like,
is
You're
that
like, you don't
funny
even
or
know. You don't
blasphemy?
even
are
know
you
where the
laughing
lines
with
are.
me or at me? I don't,
Yeah, exactly.
and that pisses me off. So, what puns or jokes would there be if there was a Mormon pedal?
Okay, I'll try to think
brand.
of some, but I'll try to think of some that might be entertaining for somebody other than like the 3 Mormon people that listen. So,
Okay, good.
do you guys want to talk about that at all?
Oh, wait a minute. There's that beer. We probably didn't talk about this on the episode, but there's that brewery that's in Utah, and a bunch of their beers are like.
Oh yeah, that's like there's a ton of them.
Oh,
That's like not a unique thing. That's like
it's not unique.
That's it's unique to Utah, but that's the natural byproduct of being
Of
in an
dominant
area that
religion.
has like a dominant religion, and not being a part of that religion is like you have to find a way to sort of, I don't know,
Poke
kick
the
back
bear.
against it. Yeah,
Lots of bears in Utah also.
there are not lots, but some.
Lots of bears named Quinksy.
Lots. There's lots of bears, lots of twinks. The whole gamut.
That's not what I meant.
Is it not?
I know that's not what you meant. That's what I meant, though. You said Quincy. That's our
Lots of bears,
favorite.
lots of quinks.
But remember, that was in Idaho, Phil. So
What?
that's offensive. That you've already offended me once by comparing Southeast Idaho to Utah, which it basically is Utah. But
offend me once, shame on you. Offend me twice, you better find a bigger boat. George Bush.
George Bush. Remember when our president was just kind of a bumbling doofus? Those were the good old days.
George Bush doesn't like black people. Remember that?
Does not care about black people.
Oh, does not care. George Bush does not care about black people. Man.
Oh, Kanye.
And that was a really big deal.
Dude, did you watch Seth Meyers on SNL?
No.
Yeah.
So he does the opening monologue, and he tells a story about when he met Kanye and when he knew he was crazy, and how
dude.
He's like, we pitched him a sketch where he just interrupts all kinds of different award shows,
Acceptance speeches.
Yeah, acceptance speeches, and it's like at like random like tiny places that no one would care about. And he was into it, and he like did it and laughed at it.
And not only that, but he said, "That's funny because that's what I do."
Yeah, he's like, okay, it's like that's what I do. And then 4 years later, he goes on stage and interrupts Taylor Swift.
He was like,
"Oh,
that happened 4 years before all of you knew about it."
Oh,
that is insane. Oh, that was
He's
so
like,
funny.
He goes, "That's a great idea, you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks."
He's like, that's what I do.
That's funny because that's what I do. Yeah. That. Oh my gosh.
And then he did it.
Did you hear Pete? Is it Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him talking about writing and when Trump was on SNL a few years back, and Pete was like, he goes, "I don't know if he can read. I mean, he can sort of read, but it was really terrifying the way we'd give him lines, and you like work on it like in a way that you don't want to overwhelm them when they don't have the background." But they had this one skit that ended with it was something stupid like, "Okay, well, let's get out of here. Chicken wings?" Like that was the
yeah, like, should we go get chicken wings?
Yes, exactly. But then when Trump delivered it, he goes, "Let's get out of here, chicken wings." And they were like, "What?"
Which is way funnier.
Yeah,
it is.
Honestly pretty funny.
But it was like the construction of sentences, don't apply to him.
Yeah,
which is weird because it's like it doesn't seem like that's his problem. But
by the way,
but at the same time, that's just like
President Trump
reading. Yeah, first of all,
excuse me,
but reading and delivering, like that's everyone that goes on there. Like, have you seen? I don't know why they've had Charles Barkley host more than once because that dude is a freaking train wreck. He is like
maybe that's why
of delivering. Maybe so, but oh man, he's like
into it.
Bad.
He seems like he just doesn't care.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, well, like, what does he care? He's already more famous than anyone else there. Like, it's not like he's trying to make a career for himself or something. But yeah, he's
struggling.
He's awful.
I have a question for you guys.
Uh-oh. Is it about Calvinism?
Yeah. How do you think? How is it that this is a question that Cole had actually that I'm presenting back to him?
Mm-hmm.
How are there still new pedal companies coming out? That's my question.
Yeah, because people.
What is the newest pedal company?
What is the newest? Just
go through.
There's always a new pedal company.
Like I get emails from Premier Guitar about stuff, and it's like there's all kinds of pedal companies I've never even heard of. It's like this company announces a $250 delay pedal or something.
Well, like the newest big one is like that 1981. Like that's a brand new.
Okay, that's true.
That's out. That's like huge, big hype.
And people are going nuts for it.
The hype
obviously have a big marketing budget.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I think it's mostly just like word of mouth, and the fact that the dude was in a band like that is popular with a particular group. Like most people.
Oh, is that
he's from
Metallica?
No, he's from Relient K.
Oh, it's not Kurt. What's his name?
No. Yeah, Kurt from
I get Reliant K and
That's what the
Local
K-
H mixed up.
Kirk.
That's what the K stands for in Reliant K. Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Hammett.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then he made the KMFDM pedals.
Yeah,
That's
of
what
course.
the K in that stands for.
yes.
Yeah, Reliant K. It's like the inside people know.
It was Kirk Hammett
so
and
wait.
the dude from LMFAO, and they came up with KMFDM.
Is the K what is the Kirk Hammett pedal company? KH.
KHDK, I think.
Okay.
KDHK.
So the K is from Reliant K and the H is from Local H. Is that how that
Yeah,
works? Is
yeah.
Local H a band that you guys have heard of?
Yeah, down to the beat, bound to the floor. They had that song bound. Or,
I thought it was
or down.
I thought it was H as in the drug, horse tranquilizer that people like to partake in.
Yeah, the common drug, horse tranquilizer.
You know, H, as everyone talks
I
about.
think they call it horse for short.
Well, you have to get there. You start at H, and then it's HO, and then you make jokes about being a hoe, and then you go to HOR, and it's like, oh, you're a whore now, and then HORS, oh, you're more than one whore, and like, you have to make
Whores.
those jokes every time,
Whore.
no matter what.
This is all this is all the lingo that drug users
Yeah.
have with each other,
Guys, we may be out of touch in a lot of ways,
Yeah,
but we
bound
know
for
drug
the
lingo.
floor.
right? We know the drug lingo.
The drungo is what they call it. Dringo?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Drug, yeah.
So
We know
yeah,
all
it-
about
it does-
cocaine, and Mary Jane,
I guess it's the
heroin.
same. Well, I don't know. It just boggles my mind a little bit that there's still people, arriving on the scene thinking, okay, I'm going to be the next.
So here's what
big
I think.
pedal company.
Here I go. There I go again, prefacing my words. It seems to me that
Guys, listen to me now.
Let me say this.
Everyone stop talking, so I can speak. It seems like it would be easy enough to like make a flash in the pan, because like gearheads in general are so, well, there's kind of two types. There's the one that is like just collects the one thing over and over again, and then there's the one that always wants something new. Seems like at least those two. So for people that always want something new, it makes sense. Like new companies can pop up and last for a minute, but then it's like, I guess most of them don't last because you can't sustain that. Which is why I think JHS and Keeley get a lot of, well, Keeley less so, but JHS gets a lot of flack because their pedals are like not that interesting, I guess, in some way. Like they're very much kind of down the middle of the road.
The circuits are boring.
A lot of times.
I think they're good at like a feature set design.
Yeah.
Like, like the fact that they do a tube screamer that has every kind of tube screamer, like that's a good idea.
Right. But it's not like something, it's not crazy,
But
right? There's no
exactly.
crazy JHS
It's like a
pedals.
pretty, like anyone could have come up with that idea and they just happened to implement it.
Yeah, and they do it well, but I think they get flack for that. But that's probably also the thing that keeps them alive, or like
Is the
makes
fact
them
that
successful.
they're not crazy.
Yeah, that they're not always like shooting for the moon. They put out stuff that most people want or need, and that people will keep buying. That's not going to be just a novelty.
Yeah, exactly. Where, like, why did I just blank on their name? The Chase Bliss.
Yeah,
They're kind of the opposite of that, but they do it so well that, and I think their customer base is significantly smaller. I think they probably don't need to sell as many pedals to be viable.
yeah. I don't think they are quite as big. At least
But
seemingly.
part of me, I look at like, I don't know, what do people still have on their boards for modulation, like, or like for big delay modulation reverb. They pretty much still have either Strymon pedals,
MXR.
even the Boss pedals.
Yeah,
Are
Boss.
a little bit of a flash in the pan. I mean, at first they seem
the
really
500
cool, but
series. Yeah,
I don't see them on as many boards as Strymon. Do you?
For modulation?
Like the
As
DD,
in
the DD
I
500
think
and
the
the
D-
RV
the-
500
oh, okay.
and the MD 500.
I feel like when I see
I think the
And they haven't been
delay
around as
one,
long,
maybe
granted.
I see a bit more the DD 500, but I hardly
Yeah.
ever see pictures of the RV 500 and definitely the MD 500.
Yeah.
The 500s, no, but like the singles,
The ones that have been around
That's-
forever,
that's 'cause
yeah.
those have been around, forever.
But the 500, I think, were attempting to be a direct competitor,
yes.
oh yeah, for sure.
and they're half the well, maybe not half the price. They're like
no. They're
75% of the
instead
price.
300 or 350.
No.
Okay, but here's another
the
one,
big box
like-
Strymon ones are like $500, 400,
No.
and they're
They're
$399.
They're 300 or
The timeline is $399.
350 and 400.
I think they're $400 and $450.
Well, what you think is irrelevant. What is actually
Is that
important
true?
is-
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. I'm looking it up right now.
No, I'm pretty sure the Big Sky is $450.
Oh,
or
geez, the timeline's 450. Holy crap!
yeah.
I don't think it's always been 450 though.
The Big Sky is $479 at some places, which is a lot.
So-
That's like almost $500.
And I'm
Just so you know, I don't know if you can figure that out.
what is it, like the 9, the something 9, H9.
Yeah,
So that was who makes that?
That's
Because
the
they had their
Eventide.
other one that was
Eventide. Yeah. So I just bought a couple weeks ago the Time Factor from Eventide.
yeah, and like I remember hearing like this could have been like 2 or 3 years ago, people saying, "Oh my gosh, it sounds so much better than a timeline," and then like the common comment that people would say is like, "Yeah, but it's really difficult to use. You have to be like a computer programmer
I mean,
to use it, and that's what makes the timeline so good."
yeah.
And then a year or two later, they come out with the H9
Yeah.
that literally has 2 buttons and a knob.
yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Well, the Time Factor has been out for a while. Like I think that
Right.
came out in like not the early, but in like the 2005 or 6 maybe. Like it's been out for the Time Factor. Did I say?
But I
timeline?
never see that on photos
Look
for
at my
pedal
photo.
boards anymore.
So I think 2 things happened there. One is that the timeline came out, right, and it just looks cooler. Like the Strymon stuff just looks so good that has to be like a big factor. So people want that. And then they came out with the H9, which kind of made the Time Factor seem outdated.
Also looks kind of cool.
Yeah, the H9 is like a big spaceship. But here's the thing, like
Kind of has a Wall-E sort of
You
a
can
vibe.
get, if you try to buy a used timeline, you're going to pay close to $400 still. But I bought
But
the
what
Time
about a Time
Factor
Factor?
It's
for
crazy.
$200.
Say that again.
200 is what I paid for the Time Factor.
And is that like based on what's available right now? Is that how?
I got it
Did
a
you
little
get-
bit cheap, but there was a few on Reverb for like $230, $225, I think, plus
Okay.
shipping. So I would say
Wow.
$250 is like normal.
Yeah, it's the same, and we talk about this all the time. Strymon, like a lot of Strymon stuff, people just pay very close to
Yeah.
the new price.
Here's one
It's
right now
weird.
for
It doesn't make
$195
sense
and
because
15
they're still
shipping.
like very available. Like you can still just buy them new off their website if you want to.
Yeah, I don't understand that deal with that. Like, are they? I don't even know. Is it hard? Do they take a long time to get if you buy them new?
No, and you can like order them on other sites too. Like you can go on Sweetwater and get one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The one,
Or
I
maybe
bought-
not. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. It looks like maybe they. Well, no.
They do sell them on
Here, let's see.
Sweetwater.
I think they're
But
one of those
they're not allowed to
brands that-
sell them online, I think, or something like that. You have to either
No, it
call
says
or
it's in stock.
maybe it's other things.
Maybe this is another conversation, but I feel like Strymon never had that. They definitely are in the boutique category, right? But they never had that vibe of, well, when I ordered this thing, why did it take me so long to get it? Like, they have I bought an El Capistan and from the website.
Mm.
I know. And when I went onto the
Money
website,
bags over here.
when I went onto the website, it said, like, it said available. So I clicked it, I paid, and then a week later, like, the pedal came in the mail. And after that, I learned, because I was, like, new to the whole, when I bought it, I was new to the whole boutique scene. I learned after the fact, wow, there's a lot of people that buy boutique pedals that don't get their pedals. You know what I mean?
Mostly
so it's
like
like,
buy it from a Kickstarter.
But like,
freaking
there
Kickstarter.
are companies who are like collecting money and then making things.
Yeah.
Whereas,
And part of that is like you can make yourself look like a company without actually having any kind of structure to your business.
yeah, and I'm just saying Strymon has never,
Yeah.
like, I've never heard anything of them being
That
Right.
was like, remember
that kind of a deal.
Remember I bought that Nocturne Brain pedal,
Yeah.
and certain people made me think it was going to be like super short supply and everything, and so I woke up in the middle of the night. I was in Paris and bought it. I was like super
Bing
excited.
bong.
And then they were
Bing
in stock
bong.
forever.
Bing bong.
Bum,
Bing bong. Bing.
bum, bum.
And like a few months later, I had like no update or anything. I just messaged the guy and was like, yeah, I actually just wanted to cancel my order. Because he hadn't built it yet. Like,
Which one was that?
like-
The Ubangi?
Ubangi. Yeah.
Which was a
And-
rat, right?
What's that?
It was a rat based on a rat.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time I had like 4 other rat pedals, but and he was like, well, like, there's a pre-order and I need the money to buy the parts and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, but like the only exchange that has happened is me giving you money, so you should just give me back the money and then we'll be
Just
right where we were
don't
before.
order those parts.
What's that?
Just don't order
Yeah,
those
and
parts.
just yeah, exactly. And like also, why didn't you already order the parts? But that's that's a separate conversation. And so after going back and forth a few times, he did end up giving me a refund, but he didn't refund the shipping cost. Again,
What?
this is a pedal that never existed.
And we've had this conversation before, but every time
I
you
know.
tell the story,
It's
I'm
still,
like, what
like,
the
There's
hell?
part of me that thinks like, I shouldn't care. Like, it's just, but it was like $20. The shipping cost was $20 and shipping and handling,
Like, I guess I could
And-
see if it was like credit card fees or something.
It's the mental
Yeah, but that's the
anguish
thing.
of him,
Like, if he said-
of him
if he
being
said, like-
excited that he sold a pedal, and then that's part of the it's shipping and handling, and this is the emotional handling.
Exactly. But also, Aaron, if you refund somebody's credit card, you don't get charged those fees. Like, you
Yeah, that's
get
true.
the fees refunded.
Yeah, Aaron.
So
I was
he's-
thinking, like,
you
I
freaking
don't know.
idiot, Aaron. And it's stuff like that that's like, yeah, you're not, like, I don't know. It gives you that feeling of, like Aaron was saying, that they're just trying to act like they're a pedal company, but they're not really, Like,
Yeah.
they're trying
Because
to
what is
pretend
a
like they're one of
company?
the big boys, and they're not.
Well, here's the
Because
thing,
stuff
like,
like
I
that
have-
is just like silly, honestly.
I have no problem with independent people doing stuff. I think it's really cool.
No, but like,
But-
don't be stupid. Like,
Yeah, you can't just like screw consumers because you're
Some of my best friends are
because you're a
independent
one-man
people.
shop.
yeah, and some of my best friends are stupid, and I hate them.
Some of my friends screw consumers. Big deal.
But
Wait, we're not endorsing screwing consumers.
We're not endorsing it.
well, I mean, if it's consensual.
Okay. But like,
Although it does happen, Phil.
Again, so
does.
speaking of conversations we've had
Who's to
multiple
say?
times before, we've literally discussed. We've had the same conversation of me saying, "No, the Strymon big boxes are not $450." Aaron, you're an idiot, you stupid.
I know. I
man.
think we have.
And you say, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are." The Big Sky is $480.
Yeah, I just said that. $479. Isn't that crazy?
That's ridiculous. You can get like a freaking used Mexican Fender for less than that, way less than that.
But the Eventide stuff is as expensive. I think the space is $499.
Oh yeah, Totally.
Yeah.
It also puts into perspective, like, the Chase Bliss stuff. Because that feels expensive. I really want to get a Therme. I'm probably never will, but...
Which is what is that one?
Bucks.
Yeah, $500, $499.
And they're like a
Therme
third
than
the
a freaking
size.
Big Sky. I know, but they have just as many knobs, Phil. So
There's so much going on there. Plus, he's doing the digital side, and it still has an analog circuit in it. So there's like, there's a lot going on with those.
But like,
speaking of analog, shout out to Sean Wright.
Sean Wright. Why?
How does he make it so tiny? That's what I mean. Like,
well, they're pretty. I think they're like stacked in there.
Right. There's like 3 boards.
Yeah, it's layered.
Because when I pulled out the
it is not.
Remember that time I bought a warped vinyl, and it was like a V1. I can't remember who. Someone in the group said, and the switch wasn't working.
Were the dip switches were the dip switches on the back plate on the V1?
They were, yes.
Okay.
Like underneath.
Yeah.
Which everybody like was like, man, why didn't you just put these on the top? And he was like, oh.
But I'm sure that
I was too busy making you guys an amazing pedal.
Yeah,
I'm
sure
I was changing the pedal
required a pretty decent amount of redesign to get them on that where they are now.
Probably.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
all the little. Think about soldering all those tiny little things.
No, because that's the same amount, but I mean they're like
No, I know, but like
you had to move
that is a whole lot of
board to a different part
solder
and make room for it.
Yeah, but now you have to put it over there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone who makes pedals is listening to us like, oh my gosh.
That's what I'm
These
saying.
idiots.
No, you know what? I bet everybody who makes pedals is like, yeah, it is a lot of solder. Thanks, Phil.
No, well, I guess to be fair, I bet everyone who makes pedals and has an actual life isn't listening to this to begin with. So
You can get H9 for the H9 is $400 also.
New, right?
But it's like everything. It's like modulation, delay, reverb.
It is, but
No,
you can
one
only
effect
use
at
one
a
at a
time.
time.
You can only use one effect at a time on all of them.
No, I know, but like, it's like, oh my gosh, it
Not
has
the
every
DD
effect I make.
500.
But
That was like one of the huge selling points of the Boss big box pedals is you could have 2 effects on at a time.
Was it?
Yeah.
you can program it to put multiple together in like patches, and the H9 you can't, and then
Well, no,
that's
like the
why
Strymon, the Strymon ones you can't either. You can only have one effect on at a time.
right,
Where in the
and that's
Boss
why
ones,
some
you can have
freaking
2.
maniacs.
So the cool thing
think
about
that
the time
they should
factor
have
is
2
that it
time-
always has 2 delays going, and you can mix between them and like.
Ooh.
But they have to be the same engine or whatever, you know? Like you can't have one digital and one reverse. They have to be the same.
Yeah.
But it's always like
That's
2,
exactly what I would want.
it's
though.
always 2 in parallel, and so there's a mix knob, and then they each have individual level and time. It's pretty
Oh, nice.
cool.
It's pretty cool.
Going back to that, it being hard, I think it's difficult if you don't
100%.
read the manual or like look at things, because it's not super intuitive all the time, but it's not like hard to use. Once
Well,
you read
and I
it,
think-
it's not confusing. You just would never guess that that's how you do it.
I think part of it
Mm.
too, and I don't know if the Eventide stuff is like this, but you know, Strymon is based on presets. All the big boxes have presets,
Yeah.
and they all just sound really good out of the box.
Mhm.
You know, we've talked about that before, but that's another
Out the
big selling
box.
point is if you're new to pedals and your freaking pastor gives you $1,000 to spend on pedals, which again, like, I don't know. Anyways,
Cole, I don't think you understand.
Have you guys ever
Oh,
heard of
you
this?
don't think I
happening.
understand, Phil?
Cole, I don't think that's happening.
Have you guys ever heard of a podcast called
Yeah, it doesn't
Guitar
happen all that
Nerds? I think it is Guitar Nerds. Have you heard of that?
I have
I've
heard-
of GAK.
Just kidding.
I've heard tell.
I was listening to Guitar Nerds, and they were talking about presets on the Helix. Did you hear that? So Joe was saying like how he was it didn't really work for him in a live setting, and then I think Jay said he had this theory that like the presets on those things are designed to like stand out as much as possible for people who are checking the product out.
Yeah.
I had never thought about that, but it does make sense. Like especially with Line 6, a lot of their presets are like crazy,
Yeah.
it's like super intense distortion with
Like
crazy
they want it to
flanger
be
or
obvious
something.
what kind of effect you're getting from
Yeah, which is cool,
Hmm.
which makes sense. Like that you would have to rein that in, but I had never thought about that. And I wonder if Strymon does that, or if theirs are more like. I mean, I guess with the single effect, it's a little bit different because you don't have to show as much insanity. You can do that with different presets.
Yeah, like
show
on
the range.
Well, the only one that I've used is the Mobius, and it's pretty subtle. Like the first two core, it basically like there's like 12 different engines, and the presets just cycle through, 1 through 12, and then they circle back around. The first couple chorus presets you can like barely even tell are on.
Oh, really?
In a good way, yeah. Like they sound pretty subtle. So yeah, I think they probably err, based on my limited experience, they probably err more on the side of usability, I guess. Where Line 6 is trying to show off.
Well, with most
a
Line 6
whole-
stuff, it's
a
like
whole
they're
different-
trying to show off drive, delay,
Yeah, exactly.
modulation at the same
amp
time.
sim and all that stuff.
Yeah. Which is a lot. But speaking of Line 6, what do you guys think about that Helix stomp?
So I was watching some of the demo videos on it. So remember, my cousin's husband is
Yep.
the lead product something.
Yep.
And
What's his name? I mean, we have his name.
He's like the one. He's pretty important, basically. I just want you guys to know that I'm tangentially.
He's pretty cool, too.
He's way cooler than me. That goes without saying.
He's definitely a rock and roller through and through, right?
Definitely, 100%. But he's like the one doing the.
He's the
videos.
boy of rock and rolla.
It's like
is he?
It's his hand and his voice. I texted him and was like, "Is that you doing those videos?" He's like, "Yep, that's my." That product apparently was like his baby,
Nice.
Wow.
I was like, don't they have
That's
someone less expensive that can do voiceover for the videos?
The funny thing is, when we saw him at NAMM, I was asking him, like, kind of if that was ever going to happen, something like that, and he was like,
Yeah.
no. So he was obviously playing it, like, super close to the chest.
Yeah. Well, and part of it, he told me about that, like, a
Oh,
year
really?
ago, last October. And I was, that's like the one thing that I knew something cool before it actually happened,
That's funny.
People always like talking about that, but.
You knew a cool thing before the rest of us?
Yeah.
Mm.
I signed an NDA, guys. It's pretty serious. Pretty legit. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about is how I knew this cool thing. No, but I was way excited for that because honestly, the main appeal to me of the Helix is the amp and cab sim stuff.
Right.
So the Helix effects was kind of useless in my mind. I mean, it's cool and everything, but the stomp is a potential game changer, I think.
I think the HX is a good way for people who are already into multi-effects to kind of like upgrade to something new, but I don't know that it appeals to people who don't already.
For people who want
kind
multi-effects
of system.
but still want to run through an amp.
Yeah.
Part of it is I'm just over using amps, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially like lately. I just take like when I go play with my band and stuff. I don't take an amp. I just go through the PA.
Dude, just get a stomp and an FR.
Dude,
Cab.
maybe I'll get an FU. Aaron. Oh no! I said I already had. I said I plug into the PA, so that's what that is.
Oh yeah.
So I already have that.
You just make announcements the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, there's a drink special going on right now.
Would
No-
Fred Couples
no
please report
boarding.
to the front desk?
Now boarding flight 143 to Atlanta.
Is anybody the parent of a daughter named Quincy?
Cole, I really like that bit you did about like that's a really good part, Cole. Do that Atlanta flight again.
What?
I'm thinking of like you're at band practice just making announcements that's like your guitar parts.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah,
Like
run that through again.
Yeah, that part is really cool. Do that.
Do it a little faster this time, maybe. Do that.
We put a little bit of gain on your voice.
Quincy. I should write a song called Quincy.
Yeah, you should.
But so the HX Stomp is basically the size of a Strymon big box pedal.
Okay.
It's really tall though.
Have you seen one in person?
No. Well, no, but if you look at the pictures of it,
Yeah.
it's like 3 inches tall.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it has the capacitive buttons,
Uh-huh.
which are nice. Basically, they have a different function if you press on them versus if you just touch them with your finger.
Right.
So for like setup, it's nice for that. But and then it has an effects loop in it, so you can do like pre and post effects, or you can put an effects loop in it that it will turn on, or a pedal in the loop and it'll turn it on and off or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. It's 2.6 inches tall.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. If you look at the pictures, it's pretty tall, and I think that might be without the knobs.
It's pretty tall.
Oh, yeah, it might be just the box.
Maybe it's just because it doesn't slope down. It's like pretty much flat. It just slopes down a little bit where the actual foot switches are.
But it also, like, bumps up.
Yeah, exactly.
So the front end is, like, not any lower than the back.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I like. I like the back end to be flat and the front end to be sloped.
I want to see.
Which
I'm trying to picture Aaron's
took me
ideal woman, and I just can't picture it.
It took me so long to realize that the Strymon big box pedals are, like, slanted. I always thought they were just, like, not.
Yeah,
slanted.
like pretty. I mean, it's not like a super drastic slant, but it is noticeably slanted. But I love the Mobius. I'm glad I bought that again. But the HX, like, part of me wishes it was just a Helix amp and cab sim pedal.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the same processor, and that's where a lot of, like, that's where the Helix really kind of dominates everyone else, is people focus on the bit rate and the sample rate of the A to D and D to A converters.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual DSP chip, like the speed and power of the DSP chip, is a huge determining factor on how good the effects will sound. And like the Helix kind of blows everyone else out of the water when it comes to that, which is part of why, I don't know if you noticed on the back, on the jack, it requires 9 volts. And guess how many milliamps?
3,000.
3,000. It just says
crazy.
3 amps. Like,
Yeah,
that's freaking insane.
3 full amps. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The Stomp.
The Stomp.
I didn't realize that you can actually, like, add more foot switches. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, like it has a foot switch. So it's got.
You can do
stereo.
expression, or you can make it like so you can have more effects to stomp in.
Oh yeah. So it has a stereo effects loop. So ostensibly you could put 2 effects. Like it has 2 effects,
like
loops,
real
if you
effects.
wanted
Yeah,
them to be mono. And then it also has stereo in and out.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
pretty cool.
you could, like, if you wanted to have like a mini board, you could do a pretty rad mini board with like 2 drive pedals and this. And you could have a ton of effects, Anyways, so you can have 6 effects on at once, and that includes, I think, like the amp and cab each count for 1.
Yeah, you have 6 blocks or whatever they call
6
them.
blocks, yeah. And I've never messed with Helix. I mean, I'm sure if you already had a Helix or you're familiar with that world, this would be like super intuitive. Everything I've heard is that the Helix stuff tends to be pretty intuitive, but I've never used it, so I don't really know.
It seems like it looks more like the Helix than the HX effects did, as far as like the controls.
Yeah, totally. Like the navigation and everything looks a lot more similar.
I guess just because it has the screen on it and the other one doesn't.
The HX effects doesn't have a screen on it?
No, like it has the little scribble pad things or whatever they call it.
Oh yeah,
on each one,
right.
but it doesn't have a actual
never
screen on the top.
Put that together. Plus, it's huge. The HX effects is like significantly bigger.
Yeah, it looks pretty massive. That is 3 inches tall.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it has like stacked input and output like
that's
stacked
right.
jacks on the back. Stack jacks.
Oh, so stacked.
Stack jacks.
Dude, I could go for some stack jacks right now. Go down to the diner, you know.
Mhm.
Nice hot cup of Joe.
Getting a half stack?
Stack
No,
jacks.
full stack.
Yeah, not a half stack.
None of this
Jelly
half
cup.
stack
Some get
nonsense.
your Java fix.
Yeah, dude.
Cup of Joe.
I want that term to make a comeback. Cup of Joe. Like, when's the last time someone said a cup of Joe to any of you guys?
Just now, like a few minutes ago. You
I
did.
have it in. It's funny.
But
In my
other
head,
than
I
that,
have it
that
as
one.
not as cool because there used to be a coffee place
Cup of Joy.
in town called Cup of Joe's,
Oh,
and it was like not good coffee.
but have you
And
been?
then-
Oh, that's in Fresno. In Fresno, there's a place called Cup of Joy.
That's true. And so then
Fresno,
But
guys, that's
cuppa-
getting dangerously close right there.
Cuppa is spelled with a K.
yes, Cup of Joe. I know.
That's
Joy
probably
is
for
and it's
spelled
legal
cuppa.
purposes.
Cuppa.
Because
The
they
one
don't
in Fresno
actually
is called
they don't
Cup
actually
of Joy.
serve it in cups, so they had to. It's like
Yeah,
how
it's-
Fruit Loops has to
it's like
spell it
Koopa.
with two O's.
Koopa Joy.
But so Cup of Joe's was like not good coffee, and then somebody bought it, and then somebody else bought it, and now it's like a super hipstery place, and it's called a different name. But in my head, Cup of Joe's is like,
Trash.
it's not like what we would associate with the phrase like blue collar, like styrofoam cup. That's what I think of like with the phrase, right?
I don't. I think of like a scratched, chipped mug,
Oh, really?
like in a diner.
No, I think of like a diner that, like, you know, a bunch of cops eat in before their shift or after their shift or whatever, or during.
Cops.
Thank you, Cole. That's closer to what
That's what I was
talking
thinking
about.
of too.
Was this diner giving you chipped mugs?
Aaron, you wanted to be contrary.
I
and you
was not
succeeded.
being
I don't want
contrary.
to argue.
Let's just face it.
I was just saying. I think
don't wanna
more of a
argue about
mug
this
than a
hypothetical
styrofoam cup.
Diner that we're eating at.
Cole, just shut up and drink your coffee.
I know. That reminds me, I meant to get a Mountain Dew out of the fridge before we started, but I forgot. Dang it.
Mike Rowe is obviously there at this
Yeah,
diner.
exactly. And he's extolling the virtues of all the people there. And Guy Fieri is also there.
No,
Guy
no way.
Fieri.
There's no way that they frequent the same diner. It's
Dude,
not possible.
How great would it be if you started like some fancy show for the Food Network and you talked all about French cuisine and stuff like that, and your name was Guy Fieri? Like you pronounced it Guy. That's a French name.
Okay.
Anyways, Guy Fieri. Somebody who can draw stuff, do a funny Photoshop of what Guy Fieri would look like.
But you also have to be wearing a karate gi.
Yeti.
Yeah.
No, like Guy.
Hey, can we talk about Calvinism now?
I want to
Yeah.
talk about Guy Hebert, who is one of my favorite people on television. And he's bald. The end.
Okay.
Are you thinking of Joe Rogan?
No, Guy Hebert.
Oh.
He does the intermission report for the Ducks,
Oh,
Ah.
nice.
and he used to be the goalie.
Is he Québécois?
I believe so, but he talks very not French sounding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he might be like an Anglophone, but he might just be from Quebec.
Yeah. Is Guy French? Hebert certainly is.
Yeah, Guy is. That's like a pretty common name in Quebec. I don't know about in France. I'm assuming it is.
I just remember Guy Germain from the original Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. And there's been a
Yes.
couple other.
Connie and Guy.
I don't remember. I'm just going to admit it. I don't remember the specifics of the Mighty Ducks films as well as you do.
Apparently.
It takes a lot for me to admit that, but I'm just going to come out and say it.
I think we
So-
should talk about one of our sponsors real quick. And that is...
Okay.
Which one do you want to choose? Roll the dice.
Oh, so I've been playing. I got those Alnical. How do you say it, Phil?
Alnical.
Al Nicol.
Alnical.
Alnical?
Al Nick Al.
What are your thoughts?
Al Nick Al. It's
First,
like
we should say that these are
a barbershop trio.
Pure nickel strings.
Why aren't there more barbershop trios? I wonder. Anyways, so I put them on my Equitz
from
guitar.
the Gabriel Tenorio String Company.
Gabriel Tenorio, yeah, from
From Boyle
where
Heights,
the Al Nick Al
California.
comes from. And they're awesome. We're getting ready to record. My band is getting ready to go into the studio. You know,
Gonna do some tracking.
lay down some tracks, some fat tracks, and smoke some fat bowls. You know how it is. And
Yes.
so we've been jamming more lately, and I just play my Rayburn all the time now, and it's awesome. And the strings sound really good. And usually when I play long
sound
sessions,
really well.
that kills strings more quickly for me. I think just because I sweat so much. But especially if they die quicker if I play one session for 3 hours than if I do 3 1-hour sessions. They sound really good. I like the way they feel. Yeah, so far I'm sold on them. It sounds like Gabriel's really excited about them, so I think at this point I share in his excitement.
Yeah, I think they're cool too.
You know, they're still fairly new, but I have a feeling
I would
they're gonna last a long
like
time.
to try them on my Jazzmaster because
Yeah.
it's super bright.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
do like them on the telly, but I like the steel ones on the telly too, and I feel like I would like them more than on the Jazzmaster. Like on the telly, I could go either way, but I feel like I would prefer them to steel on the Jazzmaster.
maybe so. And see, on my guitar, it's like a single P90, so
Yeah.
it's in the bridge, but it's still relatively dark as pickups go. You know,
Take it to the bridge.
Phil, we're trying to have a conversation here.
Have you put yours on anything yet, Phil? Did you
I
get
have
yours
not.
yet?
I did get them.
Had a bit of a fiasco there.
Yeah.
Your dad
Wait.
didn't do anything to him before you got him?
No.
Okay, good. So, yeah, check out Gabriel's strings.
And now, Calvinism. Cole? Phil? Sorry.
Calvinism.
Yeah. So Cole, brother Aaron, and I,
Brother Abubo.
we're here at your door, and we'd like to talk to you about Calvinism. We just
Come on
rode our
in.
bikes over here.
Okay. I hope you're
Would
wearing
you
helmets,
like
and I
to
hope you
take
had,
a survey?
I hope
we're
you had
wearing-
short sleeve white
we're-
shirts on.
Yeah, short sleeve white dress shirts, and we have name tags, so you don't get us confused. And
Imagine if you were an elder, but your name was Barry, and you were Elderberry.
And then imagine if they started calling missionaries dingles instead of elders.
like as like a
That's like the title. Yeah.
no, like dingle. It's sort of like in fraternities, like your pledge until you've like
oh,
earned
yeah,
your
yeah,
stripes.
totally. so
So
when
you like-
you're, we call it a greenie. There's a little inside baseball. So when you're a
Oh,
greenie,
really?
they'd call you dingle, yeah, until you've been there for a little while.
Yeah, so after your first year, you're a dingle, and then your second year, then you've earned the
You graduate to being
the
an
title.
elder. They kind of stopped. So they used to, again, nobody cares about this, but they used to always translate elder into the language, like the word elder. And so like in French,
What-
it would be
Oh,
ancien,
yeah.
and it just means like an old person, you know, just like in English. And
Oh.
so it doesn't have the same.
well, but even in like it's more that it doesn't tend to have the same, like, does elder have a religious connotation outside of
Yeah.
my church?
Yeah.
It does, right? So like in English,
Yeah.
it's at least you recognize it as like a churchy thing, but in other languages, and a lot of other languages, it doesn't. And so they stopped doing that, and they just put elder on there. But then you have to explain. They're like, "Oh, elder, you both have the same first name." It's like, no, it's a title. What does it mean? Well, it means
It means old person.
Yeah, and they're like, "Well, you're only 19 years old. Why do you?" And it's like, "Lady, can you just tell us you're not interested so we can walk to the next house?"
Listen, historically, us in the LDS, we don't live very long, and so yes,
Yeah,
19-year-olds,
It's in the name, latter day. That means we're in our latter days because
latter days, yeah.
So do you know how many guns we have in Utah? People are always just getting shot, you know?
Shot in the street.
Yeah. No, it's,
So yeah, 19.
people don't get
I'm
shot.
lucky if I'll make
People
it to
don't
40.
get shot because we have so many guns, Phil. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah,
Why'd you say Phil?
I don't know.
because you're a liberal coastal elite.
Yeah, Aaron's more of a liberal border elite.
I guess I'm more coastal than Aaron is, right? I'm closer to the coast.
How close to the
Maybe.
coast
You're
are
probably about the same.
Hmm.
You're like an hour and a half each, right?
Well, if I do it in the middle of the night without traffic, I think I could do it in like less than 90.
One of Phil's
Let's talk
classic-
miles here.
Phil's classic Twilight drive to the coast. Hour and a half drive to the coast.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could, except I'd have to like drive through a city to get there, so that would take some time.
Yeah, I would have to drive through one of the largest cities in.
I would also have to drive through one of the largest cities in.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I don't know why you're
In.
saying it like it's a thing.
Guys,
Such
it
a
would take
jerk.
me like 18 hours. Not 18 hours.
Okay, so you are not.
And I have to drive
coastal
through
elite.
Reno. Like, that's worse than both of you guys. Reno,
All right,
guys.
Let's
Ugh.
quickly talk about Calvinism. What were we going to say about why are we talking about Calvinism?
Because we were talking about Westminster Effects.
Oh yeah, I lost the plot.
We start the very first thing this podcast started with this episode.
Hey, talking about brands. Let's talk about brands.
Just so you guys
Okay.
know, this is a relatively common occurrence where one of us will be saying something interesting before we start recording, and another one of us will say, "Oh, we should save this for the podcast," and we'll be like, but I didn't really want people to hear me say that part." So
All right, we're 50-something minutes in, so
yeah,
let's
Mhm.
finally get to our original topic.
Mm.
I'm sorry
Okay.
for laughing.
don't laugh about Calvinism.
I
You
don't
think
laugh about
Calvin's a
anything.
joke? You think Calvin's a little kid that has a stuffed tiger he pretends is
No.
alive?
Right.
Yeah.
Not that one.
I do.
So tell us about
I do.
Calvinism, Phil.
Well, I really wanted to just make my joke about coming to your door.
Oh,
But also-
so you come to my door, Elder Bubo, Elder Eisenhower.
Yep. And then we say, okay, we would like to tell you a little bit about Calvinism. And then you say, you know what? I really don't have time for this right now. And we say, okay, well, when is a good time? And you say, okay, fine. Let's just get it over with now. Right? That's
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
And then we go, and
because
then we
it's
go,
like
okay.
you can't give me a fake phone number or a fake address. Like, this is your address. I'm standing at your house. Like, unless you're gonna move, you know that I'll be
Yeah,
back.
they found me. I guess I need to move now.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically a threat. It's like,
Uh,
I dare
We will
you
keep.
to turn us down. No, that's not how it is.
Yeah.
Guys, come on. Let's quit joshing around all the time.
So, wait. Oh, now I'm remembering. I really wanted to get to you coming up with pedal names.
No, I didn't do that though.
Oh, all right.
And it wouldn't be funny. But I want
It
to talk
would.
about what you were saying about how like some like these sort
Okay,
of
so brands.
people, I don't think it's exclusive to Calvinism, but a lot of people who want to be like edgy Christians have sort of
Well, okay, there's a couple different things happening here. I think you had said oversaturation of pedals.
yeah.
Are we at the oversaturation? And that made me think of that brand, that pedal company, because I think the only solution in an oversaturated market is becoming, niche in the niche, right? Or niche in the niche.
niche in the niche.
Right.
Yeah, niche in the niche. You gotta.
And when you say
You
that
got a
pedal
niche.
company, you're talking Westminster,
w-
right?
Yes.
And they
So like,
So here's the
Because-
thing with Westminster. What they do is all of their pedals, if you don't know, are like named after some Reformed theologian. And so, except for the Osteen distortion, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, wait, what is the joke other than...
Because he distorts the gospel, right?
Oh,
Osteen
geez.
distortion.
Okay, but so then it is because...
It is named after a famous theologian, but just not one that they agree with.
But it's not a Reformed theologian.
Oh,
It is, though, in the sense that it's completely contrary to Reformed theology.
So how is he Reformed then?
That's the point, is that it's distorted.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
he's a
named
niche
after
within a
a
niche.
Reformed theologian.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's all in the same family because the family
I know it's
is...
in the same family.
He's double reformed. Guys, let's not get caught up. This isn't
I'm
like
sorry.
us to get caught up on the semantics of these things.
I apologize.
Aaron-
It's not like us.
Elder Aaron, we're
Elder
sitting on
Abubo,
Cole's
Phil.
doorstep
You
trying
didn't
to
say Elder
explain...
and then your first name.
Elder Abubo, sorry. We're sitting on... Let's not argue in front of Cole.
Can we?
all right?
We'll just
We're
call you
trying to-
Phil because the elder is
Is
implied.
this how Calvinists always talk? Are you guys always this combative?
First of all, I'm not one.
Okay.
Phil is. but-
Okay, so
No, I'm not.
so they have
So
they
anyway,
specifically market
So my
to-
theory
But
is that by
Truth
doing
be
that,
told, some of my best friends are Calvinists.
that by doing that, yes, they can sell. Me too. They can sell things.
I adopted some Calvinist children just so you guys wouldn't think I hate Calvinists. Okay.
My best
Okay.
friend growing up had crazy beard, and he smoked a pipe all the time.
Yeah, exactly. He had a sleep tattoo.
Yeah. So anyway, my theory is that by doing that, they like allow themselves to sell to people who think or agree with them in the same way. Like people who are also Calvinists will buy from them because of the like shared connection, even more so than just like straight Christian or normal, like
Yes.
general Christian. It's like you have less people, but the connection is probably deeper.
Stronger, yes. So
Yeah.
and because the Christian thing is already saturated.
Right.
Right? So it's like there are already companies claiming to be, we are a Christian company selling to the praise and worship market. And so to
Right.
say
Our passion is helping you fulfill your passion or calling.
your weekend volunteering passion.
Like, what's that? Was it Jackson Audio, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
the same,
to say,
it's like the same thing that happened with Christian brands 10 years ago, They
Yeah.
realized like, oh, there's this big niche in the market of guitarists that's just these Christian players that they
Mhm.
basically only play guitar so they can play at church. We might as well
Yeah.
market to them.
when you started that sentence, I thought you were talking about actual Christianity, and I was like, I think it happened longer than 10 years ago. But
You remember
it's
10
like
years
when-
ago when Christianity started?
it's like back.
Remember
At
Martin
first,
Luther?
there was just one Christian, and then like they started like splitting off into different things. It was like 10 years ago or something like that.
Remember Martin Luther? I think he was named after Martin Luther King.
Yeah. He's like,
It was
listen,
like 10
guys,
years
you
ago.
got
He
it
was
wrong.
like, guys, come on. He started a website. It had like a bunch of animated GIFs on it. That would have been like 20 years ago, I guess.
1518. I think that's when it was.
Okay, so what did you want to say about it, Aaron? Did you already?
I think I said it.
Your mind?
He wanted to say that he's not a Calvinist.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
And
Calvinist.
it's really embarrassing to be saying that on your doorstep while we came here to talk to you about it, Cole.
He's like, I'm just here so I don't get fired. But Calvinists are known amongst Christians for being they draw a very hard line in the sand, more so than a lot of other Christian groups do. Is that fair to say, doctrinally at least?
I think
I'd say they get that rap.
No, I think sorry. Here's what it is. There are lots of
There's this-
doctrines.
Wait, I got a good word. Theobrogians.
Whoa,
There's a lot of like hardcore theobrogians out there who
Yeah,
are
dude.
Calvinist, and that's
Yes.
the connection.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's really
That really
good.
is great. So I think in like Protestants, there's a lot of people saying it's this way, period. But there's stuff like kind of baked into the theology of Calvinism that makes it easier be certain.
Yes, which
Yeah.
makes people like the ego just gets fed.
It's the
Yeah,
same way.
so, like
it's the same way with my church too. Honestly, like we have a lot of very specific doctrinal beliefs.
right,
So it's
yes.
easy to get caught up in this idea of, well, if I believe this one very specific thing, then I must be right and everyone else is wrong, type of thing.
But like I know
That's
some,
easier.
and I think probably just any religion, there's going to be people that talk with certainty. Like that's just kind of,
Yeah. 'cause-
unfortunately, that's part of the thing. But there are some where it's like the actual like spelled out doctrine is like when it's like it is this way, then it's like, okay, well, now you're kind of like you're kind of just handing over to people to talk with certainty when it's spelled out, it is this way. Whereas I think some, if you really dig into some other doctrines, it's like it really starts to get kind of.
And I think like the problem isn't with the certainty necessarily, because
I think that is the problem.
There's only one truth, if you think about it. Like all these things can't be true necessarily, but the problem is when it becomes like argumentative, or when it becomes like I'm superior to you. Like a lot of this stuff's just going to come out in the wash, like
Again, and that's part of the in the Calvinism and in the doctrine. It's like if you don't have the ability to pick it, if it's predestined, right? So then if it's chosen for you, then it's like I am chosen and some people are not chosen. And if that
and that is like
if
a
that
pretty
is
jacked up.
And that is
If that
why
is
I
there-
don't have Strymon pedals.
So if that's
'Cause
part
you
of the
weren't
thing,
predestined to have
I've not
Strymon
been
pedals.
chosen.
That's why you have your ghetto even type.
it's a
pedals.
very easy step from that doctrine to start like kind of doing that in your mind with people,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
everyone you meet,
totally.
right? It's like this person's in, that person's out,
Oh,
and
it's
I'm
like
going to talk to this
that
person
was-
like they're in.
this person
and
that lived and died in China and never even heard of Jesus Christ. Like, well, they're out. They obviously weren't chosen,
Right. And I think, and I'm sure that people, my Calvin friends who are very fine people,
That's a good episode title, My Calvin Friends.
who I'm sure are very nice people.
Guys, I'm sure there's a lot of good things about him,
Yeah.
Well, so I know that they would say, oh, but the point is that we don't know who's chosen, and so we should treat everyone like they are.
You're like,
and it's like, yeah, but that's not what they do.
But also, if like them being chosen or not affects the way you treat them, that's like. But at any rate,
I know.
but-
Using the word them, right? Like there you go. You kind of already like lost the.
yeah. It's like, so you
Us
just
and
assume
them.
you're chosen, first of all, because you said them and not us.
yeah, right.
Well, now that we've alienated half our viewership,
I
Was
doubt
that
it's
a-
half.
I'm just kidding.
Were you making a Scientology joke by saying alienated?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of this to say, don't use religion to sell your pedals. Make good pedals.
Well, plus, like, so here's part of what it comes down to for me is like people think, like, oh, well, this company obviously espouses the same beliefs as me, which they don't necessarily. I mean, they see a potential in the marketplace. And I'm not speaking specifically about Westminster. I don't know what, the owners of the company, they're probably have those.
I think he's in the group.
Have those beliefs or whatever. But like part of the time as consumers, I mean, it's like going and buying a shirt that says, the San Francisco Giants and thinking that like, oh man, the guys who made this shirt must really love the Giants, so I'm going to buy their shirt. And it's like, well, no, they saw a group of people that would buy their shirt, and so they made a shirt for them,
Yeah. That's true. Well,
And I don't know if one of you Westminster guys, I don't know, is there just one of them?
I don't
there
know.
might be just one guy. I'm interested to hear if we said anything that pisses you off.
I hope we did.
If you want to,
And the problem with it too is like it makes Just like, because we were talking about the idea that like these theobrogans, as Aaron coined the term.
You almost said Phil. Thank you.
They've kind of co-opted Christianity in some way to where when people think of evangelical Christians now, they think of some dude with a sleeve tattoo and a big beard and smoking a pipe and drinking fancy coffee and all that stuff. And it's the same way, and you're saying like, well, that doesn't represent who I am. And it's the same way where like there could be plenty of guys who like genuinely feel called to like, yeah, I feel like my talent for building pedals and also my specific belief set I have, like, why not merge the two? And it's something that I feel strongly about. But then there's enough people who are just like trying to take advantage of a market, you know, and that includes like pastors and everything too, you know. They're like, well, I see an opportunity to make money. I don't actually believe any of this stuff, but I'm going to make a whole buttload of money. And
but there's a lot of people that like The Office. Like, that should be a thing. A pedal company that's like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude.
It's like,
we have a love for
like
The Office.
a stapler and Jell-O or whatever.
Yeah, so all the puns and names should be off of The Office. So please, viewers, give us some mock-ups of...
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, heck, like
pedals.
Ed Chu, his pedals are named after
all
like
dorky fantasy lit.
Freaking nerd crap.
A bunch of nerd crap.
Freaking nerds. As we're sitting in our rooms on our computers on Saturday morning talking about guitar gear. Freaking nerds. I'm gonna beat you up.
Well, let us know. Let us know in the comments section.
But
hit like,
part of
smash
it,
that
what I'm
subscribe
saying
button.
is like some people make the rest of them look bad.
Yeah.
You know, like if
Always.
a few bad eggs, when in reality a
Mhm.
lot of them might genuinely be thinking like, yeah, I feel strongly about whatever. Anyways, you know what I'm saying.
Bad eggs. Well, guys, this episode is
like,
also
subscribe button.
finally sponsored by Gone Street Wiring Shop and Emporium. Hit them up. Get some wires. Get some
up, style.
ropes for the inside of your guitar.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Get a 4-way switch. Throw some fancy options in there. Whatever your heart desires.
Aaron, are you reading from the script or are you going off script there?
Thank you.
And thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.